Nobody is back for good. I dare say that in 100 years I'll not be here. Obviously, we look for the foreseeable future. I think there's a very major challenge in front of us politically. We shouldn't be complacent, of course, about the structures and keeping the process moving forward. But at the same time, the economy is going to take all of our attention over the coming months. It's a vital issue, and that's what we're really up for. And I don't think we should dodge the hard decisions that we have to take, but we must bring people along with us. And
you still have the appetite for that, because when we recall, obviously, what happened to you at the Westminster election, the voters of East Belfast, many thousands of them deserted you then. Are you really willing to face them again at another election this May?
Well, I had a very significant vote in the Westminster election. Unquestionably, a few thousand more would have seen me home. But we take these knocks. Politics isn't all victories. I've fought something like 23 elections, so I can take defeat as well as victory.
Now, you secured your party's backing for the devolution of policing and justice on the basis that there would be equal progress on changing the structure in relation to parading. Where's the parades bill at the moment?
Well, it's to be introduced into the Assembly. We're through the consultation process. We have to, as part of that consultation process, look very carefully at the responses that we've received. As we have gone through those, we've seen a clear view from a wide range of people about some changes that could be made.
The timetable slipped, hasn't it? Because the text of the bill, according to your initial timetable, should have been submitted to the Speaker last week. The bill itself should have been introduced this week if you were to stick to your own timetable as per the Hillsborough Accord.
Well, I think we can still meet our own timetable, but I think it's much more important to bring people along with us.
You're talking about the Orange Order. I mean, would you go ahead with a parades bill that didn't have the approval of the Orange Order?
Well, by and large, the Orange Order are one of the most significant players in this issue. And I don't think that there's a great benefit for Northern Ireland to replace one body that the marching institutions didn't have confidence in with another body that they don't have confidence in.
And yet the irony of that is, if you don't get their support and you don't introduce a bill, the Secretary of State has said he will reappoint the Parades Commission come January.
Well, I think there was some political mischief making at the Grand Lodge meeting. There were issues that were raised by people which clearly left the wrong impression with delegates who were there. So I think in the fullness of time, when people realise the accurate position about the bill, people will come to support it. The timing isn't the most critical thing, except for the fact that you have indicated that the Secretary of State would have to proceed. And, you know, if the Orange Order's position is such that it requires the Parades Commission to be there for a further year, it's regrettable, but it's one of the possibilities.
So you're putting that onus on them at this stage?
Well, I don't see any benefit. I've indicated to you, I don't see any benefit in having a new body that the marching institutions don't have confidence in, because it's important that they are brought into the process, that they have confidence that this is a better way to do things.
OK. It's not the only timetable to have slipped. The Finance Minister and his department had a timetable for preparing for the budget cuts that are likely to come next month. There have been major slippages there. Do you think that puts at risk your strategic planning on that whole issue?
No, I don't think there have been major slippages there. The executive met together to deal with the issue. We set a programme of work for officials to carry out. They indicated to us at our last executive meeting that they were simply waiting for the Minister's return in order to hand over the first draft of those proposals.
And yet Sinn Féin ministers are saying they don't want to talk about cuts.
I was coming on to that issue. Sinn Féin, of course, were part and parcel of that decision. It was unanimously agreed by the executive, and I was pleased that that united approach was being taken. The Finance Minister has already been talking to ministers, including Sinn Féin ministers, about departmental spending. So maybe everything outside isn't as it is in the inside.
And yet some of their demands have been pretty unrealistic, according to the Finance Minister. I mean, are we looking at a situation where you could have a kind of sticking plaster budget this December, not one that deals with the next few years, but simply gets you beyond the election?
We can't mess about with this. And I think we need to be very clear. The setting of our budget in Northern Ireland is done through the Barnett formula. You can bark at trees as much as you want, but it's not going to change those facts. of course we can go to the government, and of course we can say to the government, look, there's a commitment from you that you recognise that there's a need to strengthen our private sector. How are you going to help us to do that? And over and above whatever we get by way of the Barnett formula, we can start looking at that, and I'll be there arguing very strongly for support in those areas. But very much a formulaic approach is what's adopted by Treasury.
What about the solo runs that we see? And even today, for instance, we have the Minister for Regional Development announcing that he wants to bring Northern Ireland Water back into direct control of government. That's not something, presumably, he discussed around the executive table.
No, I think there are procedural issues, and I was talking with the Speaker, along with the Deputy First Minister. The Speaker set up a group that was looking at what procedural changes that there should be. The Assembly's committee was looking at them. And one of the issues that I talked about was the ability of a minister to go to the Assembly, raise an issue which might be a hobby horse for him personally or her, or it might be a party issue but has not got executive approval. And the impression that that gives to the rider community that this is an executive decision that's in the process of being implemented, I think that's wrong, and I think we have to look at that issue.
Okay. Now, Peter Robinson, you're our first guest on Stormont Today. What do you make of our new setup? Do you think the new time will be appreciated by viewers like yourself, presumably sitting up late into the night watching politics?
Yes, this is not Stormont Live. Yeah, no, well, it'll certainly help people like me who can't watch it through the day, because we obviously have a busy schedule, so we'll be able to watch it in the evenings.
Okay, well, that should double our viewing figures. Thanks very much.